Hello and welcome back to another episode of Math with Sohn. Today we are doing another one from May-June, and it is 2024, not the date, but the date of the exam was 2024, and this is paper 2-2, okay? So we have two different particles. This is going to be a quick one, by the way. Two different particles, particle Q and particle R, are each composed of one quark and one antiquark, okay? So because of that, that means that they might have a charge and they might not. It depends on how they're composed. And it says, state and name the class or group of particles that includes both Q and R. All right, so this one I'm going to use a Venn diagram. So here, something you may not know that your teacher may not have taught you because they could be me, and I might not teach my students this because there's so much to memorize with these subatomic particles that it just gets tough. All right, this I'm calling hadrons. Hadrons, by definition, just have to have some quarks. They can either have 2 quarks or 3 quarks or more, but typically it's 2 or 3. So, and then inside of the hadron category, we have a subdivision known as mesons, and we have baryons. Okay? So mesons will be 2 quarks. 2 Qs. 2 quarks. I didn't really spell it very well. And baryons would have 3 quarks. Okay? So mesons have 2, baryons have 3. In this case, we have a 1 quark and 1 antiquark, which means that we only have 2. So a correct answer would be a meson. All right? But another correct answer, it says class or group. Another correct answer, by definition, could be the broader spectrum, which is hadron. Okay? Because hadrons could have 2 or 3, and mesons would have 2. All right? So that would be the 1-pointer. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you're only missing out on 1 point. So I recommend memorizing as much as you can, but understanding that there's limitations to the one's mind and how much they can memorize. All right. Here, we are told that Q has a charge of -1 elementary charge, and R has a charge of 0. Okay, so we're going to start with the easy one. Also, remember that each of these has 1 regular quark and 1 antiquark. Okay, so if R has a charge of 0, and it has an anti-up already, so the anti is already done, we need to come up with one of the regular quarks. And just so you know, the regular quarks, there are positive ones and there are negative ones. All right? And the positive ones have a charge of 2/3, and the negative ones have a charge of -1/3. But keep in mind, that's the regular non-anti charge. So positives, we have top, we have charm, and we have, oh my gosh, I can't remember. Top, charge, and, oh, it's another positive number. Let's think of the negative ones. We got bottom for negative. We have strange. And we have, oh my gosh, I can't think of the other one either. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to look it up right now. I apologize, friends. Google, quarks. I never memorize them because the quarks are always something that are very easy to understand. Okay, it's up, down, charm, top, and bottom. They're always, if you see it, you know. Okay, so up and down. Holy moly, I can't believe I forgot up and down. Okay, so these would be the regular ones, but then there would be anti-top, which would be a -2/3. So just so you know, anti-top would be -2/3, and anti-charm would be -2/3, and anti-up would be -2/3. So this already has -2/3, which means I need to add a +2/3 of any kind. If I need to add a +2/3 of any kind, the reason why is I need it to have a charge of 0. So what other quark could make that happen? That could be any of these +2/3, which means it could be a top, it could be a charm, or it could be an up. Any of those 3 would work, and you only should write one. Do not write all 3. Only write one of them, okay? So that's that one, done. One of the 2 points, I imagine, accomplished. This other guy has a charge of -1 E, and we've already have a strange quark, which has a -1/3 because that's a regular quark. It's not an anti-strange or anything like that. So now the second quark, in order to have a negative 1e, it needs to have a charge of negative 2/3 because negative 2/3 and negative 1/3 make negative 1. Okay, so we need one of the positives, but we need it to be anti to make it negative. So it could be anti-top or anti-charm or anti-up. I'm just going to write anti-top because I don't want to write anti 5 times in a row. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. That's all that number 7 had to offer. Until next time, stay positive, friends. I will see everybody later. Bye.